The Apple Valley Model Railroad Club presents Modeling Basics 101. This six-part series introduces you to the exciting world of model railroading, covering everything from initial layout design to final scenery. For more information about the Apple Valley Model Railroad Club, visit their website at avmrc.com. Part 2 Workshop, Laying Track.
I use Titebond. Titebond is good construction glue. It's water soluble, but it holds extremely well. This is the original. They're up to Titebond 3 now, I believe. They might even be up to Titebond 4. I'm not sure. But Titebond works very well because it's not susceptible. Once it's cured or dried, it's not susceptible to water or moisture. So it's a good way to anchor things. You buy that at Home Depot. I buy it by the gallon, and that's what we have here today. Okay, so when you're laying down the road bed on the modules in particular, we're going to lay the road bed. So I'm going to need one more piece of road bed. The road bed is only 36 inches long. Your modules are 48. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take two pieces of road bed. And I just take a smear of glue on one side. I can actually do both sides because it's going to be quick enough to lay this down. And again, this glue is so strong that you don't need to worry about, do I have 100% coverage or not? As long as you cross the line and you have some on either side, you're going to hold that road bed down in position. It's not a problem.
And you're using a full concentration of glue.
This is full, that's correct. So there's no dilution on this, okay? And that way, this'll set up in about 10 minutes actually, to the point where you can work with it. Okay. So we're just going to simply start from one end and work to the other end, and we're going to take, with the straight edge,
In the center.
straight edge, goes along that track line. Now I can't really see that line from there. I presume I'm on the line. If somebody can kind of guide me in that and just kind of set that. Am I lined? Okay. Okay. Now what I did was I offset, to the edge.
Bring it back towards me. Keep coming.
You slide it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the reason why I offset them was so that I don't have cross lines in there, because even though it's a manufactured product, it's a somewhat natural product or an unnatural product, as the case may be. Okay. Again, we split this, and we'll use the straight edge to just butt. Now we can cut, and then we're going to save that because we're going to use that for the next module, right? There you go. Just set that straight down in the glue. Okay, now the main thing is we want to make certain that our center lines are maintained. So I mark the center lines, okay, on there. So we can adjust, make sure that the center lines are adjusted. We're going to tack this down. Tom's going to get I use a T50 stapler, and I just put a couple of tacks in it just to hold it down until the glue sets, just to make sure that it's down as a level plane. Okay.
What about using like heavy books?
Yeah.
That'll work.
Sure, absolutely. You can do that if you don't care about the book. Yep.
Paint cans.
Cans, use cans.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. Okay. Yep. So, yep, I would just throw a couple of tacks in. That's all it takes. And you go right across the center and you'll hold both of them in position. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Now at this point you can leave them in or take them out. My advice is take them out, because now what you have is dissimilar materials and you have different expansion and contractions. And believe it or not, in your layout, in your home, I don't care whether you're environmentally controlled or not environmentally controlled, you're gonna have expansion contraction issues. Moisture, humidity, temperature is gonna play havoc with all of these things, okay? So the least amount of differential that you have, the better off you are, okay? So, like I said, this glue will set down 30 minutes, you're ready, you can actually pull the staples out, not a problem. Once you pull them out, some guys do, I don't in particular, because I find that the product is pretty good on a level plane. Some guys take a sanding block and they'll run a sanding block across that just to make sure that it's, you know, dead level, okay? If that's in your wheelhouse, then by all means. This will sand, so you could take a sandpaper on a pad and just sand it down, okay? Here's where the issues would become, are in your joints. And this is why I offset them so that you don't have joint to joint right across, okay? So I always try to offset joints as much as possible with as much product as I can. And I do the same thing with my rails in curves. I offset my rails so that my rail joints are never lined up straight across. I have one short rail, one long rail, and that takes the joints outside of the reign of the axles of your locomotive, which are most probably going to have issues with gauge. So if you have something that's going to jump track, it's going to more than likely happen where you have joint to joint, okay? So that gets into track laying. You want to cover that? Not, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So with that said, okay, we're now ready to put this down. Now you'll notice that the track comes in 36-inch centers, but our module is 48 inches. So what we're going to do is I struck a line at 6 inches inboard from each end, and we're just going to set the track at that point, and we'll be 6 inches inboard from each end. That allows each module now to be joined up by a 12-inch standard section. Okay, that's why. All right, so we can take, pause. Yep, we can take those. I got others. Yeah, I got an open pack here.
You're gonna paint the track, you paint before or after you put it down?
You can paint the track first. Yeah, I mean, anything that you can do beforehand to minimize, you know, your work. And that's a good suggestion. Paint first, because then you're not painting your scenery. You know, with spray paint. If you're using like camouflage paint or something like that, paint your rails and then lay them down. That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
So would you paint this cork or do you leave it as
No,
is?
you're not going to see that cork. Once you ballast it, if you ballast, you're not going to see it.
Okay. Gotcha.
That ballast is going to hide everything.
Now the painting of it, that's to give the rustic old timey look, right?
Well, that's, yeah, that's correct, Mark.
Ties and then rust on the rails.
Yep, yep. You go out on a railroad, you're never going to see a brand new shiny polished rail. Even if it's a brand new rail, it's been sitting out in the yard somewhere for a year, 2 years, so it's weathered already. So it's rusty or it's discolored, but it's never shiny steel. The only shiny steel you're going to see is on the top of the rail, and that's because it's polished by the wheels. So that's the only shiny thing you're going to see. Do you have my knife? Where'd you put that?
It's right here.
Oh, it's right there. Okay.
So you're saying you can paint the track?
Sure. Absolutely.
The weather of the track is
You can paint the edges, you can paint the center, you can paint the whole track.
And with, how do you do that? With
Spray paint.
Spray paint?
Yeah,
Or they sell little things that look like magic markers and you just run it right along the top.
yeah, that's true too, yeah, sure, okay.
I painted the rust first, and then you spray straight down for the tie brown, and you won't hit the rust. And you just come back and sand the top of the rail.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you do the honors.
That's a locking one. I got one.
There you go, that's a locking one.
Yeah, I got one of these. Now we're gonna find the hole first.
Well, there you go.
What the hell's all? I don't see a hole there.
Well, you're not Roman Catholic.
Actually, I used to be. Let's not go there.
I agree. All right, this track does not have
No, I don't have any holes.
holes. That must be Pico track or something like that. This one doesn't
We
have.
can do it on the side.
Grab another piece of track.
We can do it here, on the side.
Nah, that's all right. We'll grab a piece of track that actually,
That's the holes.
who the hell makes this track? Yeah, I've run into this before and it doesn't flex very nicely either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of these are, yeah, look how stiff that is.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot stiffer.
Yeah,
That's why it's just.
Oh, the ties are more stable. My ties go all the way.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So if you get Atlas, I mean, you know, Atlas held the patent on that. So, you know, Atlas did a good job when they designed that. You know, Bill did a good job. All right, cool, thank you. That's a piece of nickel silver rail, that's good.
Oh, there we go.
All right, so we're gonna set the end of the rail. Let's make sure we got a good end of rail, okay?
Yeah, right there.
End of rail on the 6-inch line.
Yep, right there. You
Just tack it somewhere in here.
the rails at the 6-inch line?
Yeah, I want the rails at the
Oh,
6-inch
there we
line.
go. So it's gotta
Yep.
come down. It's gotta come down. Okay. Oh, it's called a staple.
Okay.
So you want,
Yeah, because you're gonna have to join.
yeah, there we go.
Yep, so the rail ends, the rail heads end at your 6-inch line, okay, on these.
There you go. Oops. The other hand.
There you go. Hold it right there.
Get rid of this.
Okay, let's put another one in the other end just to hold that in position. And then,
Anybody else want to take a chair? This easy.
yeah,
Try this.
yeah, we're gonna do that in just a second.
Yeah, right.
Let them stabilize the track first. Okay. All right, so now you've got one of the nail setters. Okay, so you can nail set, okay?
That's not tacked all the way down. No, hold on.
That's all right, we're gonna set that with a setter, okay? With this tool, okay, it's designed so that it accepts these Atlas nails, the head of the nail. So you can put it in. Find the hole,
Did we do it?
and you can just pop it down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Once you pop it down, you notice that it'll stop flush with the top of the tie. Uh-oh.
I get your glasses on.
Pounded it right out there, right? So you blew out the tie. Okay. If you're blowing out the ties, they're too tight. So you only got to get,
Let's see if I do this one.
yep, here you go. Take that, take that,
Let me get this one down.
there you go. You can push it down or just pop it down with your palm.
Yeah.
Just give it a pop,
Yeah, okay.
and there you go.
Good.
That'll set you right at the rail height,
So that one's-
or the tie height.
Who's next?
Let's, Mark, try that. So you see it? Find a hole. There's a hole. Nope. Okay. Pop it down with your palm. All right. Get it lined. Get it straight up and down. Just pop. There you go. In place. Want to try one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Is that magnetic to hold the nail or not?
No, it's not, unfortunately. But I tell you what, there are enough little circular magnets. You can slide one right up on the collar.
Yeah.
Okay, and that'll hold it. Got a hole right here, Tom. There you go.
Oh, that's very easy.
Very easy,
Yeah.
correct?
Okay.
All right. Grab it now.
These hammers,
There's a
you
hole
buy
right
them
here.
at Lowe's or Home Depot?
Which, oh, these? The tack hammers?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just an upholstery tack hammer. Yep. There you go.
A little too much
A
pressure.
little too much.
That's all right.
That's because you're too strong.
Somebody's got to be.
Don't worry. Yeah. All right.
This one, the hammer's over the end.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else want to try it? You stick a nail.
Chris?
Chris, come on.
All right,
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Grab a nail. You got one right on the end there. Pop it right on the center line.
All right, on the center line.
Put it right there.
Oh, I see. Oh,
See it?
that shoot.
You got it there, right?
Yep, almost.
Okay. Well, you know what? I would take the head, put that in there first. Yep.
There.
There you go. So
Yeah.
now you've moved the whole thing, correct?
Yep.
Okay. A simple tap on the top once you get it lined up.
Go.
Tap. Nope. Whoa, 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 whoa,
Too
whoa.
much?
Yeah, because
Ah, shoot.
you're pushing all the way down to the floor. Okay, so that's okay.
Yeah.
What you did by doing that, though, okay, if you take a rail gauge, okay, right now, if you take a rail gauge, an NMRA rail gauge, and you run that gauge down, it'd be perfect, 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 perfect.
Yeah.
Choke.
True.
Because what you did was you pulled those in. You pull those rails in, okay? So what you don't want to do is overdo it. Don't forget, are you going to ballast track?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay. So if you're going to ballast track, the nails are only temporary. So just tap, get it locked in, and hold it at that position. Okay? You don't need to go you don't need to go to the basement with it. Okay? So that's good. And that's fine. That's not a problem. That's not an issue. Okay? Very, very simple cure. Okay? We get up underneath it, and we can pop that up. That's not a big deal. We can lift that.
Shoot. Okay, like that right here.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
So now it's lifted.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Not a big deal.
No.
Okay? Good job.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Chris. Very good job. Thank you, Ron.
Anyone else? Any other questions that you have for Mike?
I
Yeah.
do have one. So I'm assuming we are all running track at the exact same place on our layouts.
That is correct.
That's Tom's,
Intentions.
Intentions.
That all the tracks are being laid lengthwise, lengthwise, lengthwise. What happens when we are running trains and we get to the end? Do we just run backwards at that point?
Correct.
Well, at that point, yeah, and what you would do otherwise, if you were building these as a modular club, they would build a corner module that would allow for a radius turn, or a balloon track to come back around so you can come in back on the same track with a reversing device, or come in on the other track, whichever way you want to go.
So to expand on that question, what if you wanted to add a little bit of curve instead of making it straight, but you end at both the correct points?
Okay, that usually, you can do that. However, if you curve the track, you're going to shorten the ends.
Right.
Okay, so that usually is reserved for the third track.
Okay.
So that would be then the track that you would switch off the mains. These are just going to be the mains, the main lines.
Okay.
okay? Once you come off the main, you can curve any which way you want. You can go up, you can go down, you can go sideways, okay?
So how you gonna,
So-
how we gonna be putting switches in here, Tom?
So remember, this is a project that we're doing together, and the end result is to put all these together and be able to run the train so that you can see that what you've done is with the electricity and everything, that it's gonna flow through, just like if you're out here, you're running different modules and so forth, okay? That's the intent, and those questions are great, but it's not what we're actually
Right.
doing. This is very beginning of how to set track and all that kind of stuff, and the end product is that we can display this to the club members, and it's functional. We've done what we're doing, okay? Mark asked the question, is how do you use the turnout? Well, that's in a different section that we're going to, after we've laid our main line, now we've come back and we've said, well, we need a secondary line off the main. How do you do that? Well, this is how we're gonna be shown how to cut the track that's already been laid. We're gonna put a turnout in there, and then we're gonna take our secondary track and move it, and you're gonna build something from that, whatever that may be.
All of, go, sorry, Tom.
One thing is, if you say you built just scenery and you don't really have a secondary track to do, what we're gonna probably do is have a crossover on your main. So you're gonna actually cut the track and put it on the main so you can cross over from one main to the other. I was gonna surprise you, but.
That's okay, it's all right.
Okay.
The intent of these modules is just to show you techniques, different techniques. And these techniques are the same whether you're doing an entire layout or you're just doing modules. We're doing modules because they're for you to take home and play with and think about, if I want to build a layout, how would I go about this? And so what we're trying to show you here are basic fundamental skills in building the basic fundamentals of a model railroad. And so this would be the start of that, okay? And you can use the same concept whether you're using the 2x2 perches that I showed in the first one, around the wall layout, the same construction method. Whether you're doing that or you're doing modules, everything is consistent. It's all the same. Good with that, Chris?
Yeah.
All right. Very good, man.
Questions?
Yeah.
One other method to put down the track is to glue it down to the cork. Is that a good idea?
When you ballast it, it's automatically going to be glued down to the cork.
At this stage?
No, I wouldn't do that because you're going to ballast it, because then it's just one additional step.
Okay.
Okay, it's a needless step, because if you're going to ballast it, you've already got track nails in there. So that's belts and suspenders. Actually, the glue will, when you look at how these aliphatic glues, and that's what this type of glue is, when they dry, they're going to dry and they're going to form peaks in between each one of these ties. And if you pull up a piece of track, what you're going to find is that the glue does not adhere to the ties. It does not adhere to the track. That's not the intent of the white glue. And you could do that with white glue or you could do that with Titebond. Doesn't matter. The effect is the same thing. When you pull up the track, you will find that the glue does not adhere to the plastic because it's not an adhesive for that. It's merely to hold the ballast in place. And what happens is the ballast forms peaks in between each one of these ties. And in doing so, it locks in that tie. So you have no lateral movement because it adheres, it adheres to the ballast in such a way that it forms the complete negative image of the ties that you set into it.
So it's like laying brick inside the...
Yeah, it's exactly right. And ballast, by definition, is a stabilizer. That's all ballast is. Ballast is a stabilizer, whether it's in a ship, on a railroad, on tracks. It's a stabilizer, and that's what it does. It stabilizes your track. In model railroading, it actually locks in your track when you add glue diluted to it. That glue will bond the granules of the ballast, And those granules then will lock up to make a form, and those formed fingers that come up through the ties are going to hold that tie rock solid. Once you ballast, this track will never move on you.
So on a switch, you would have to refrain from ballasting the moving areas.
Yeah, you would protect the moving areas, but I ballast in between the other areas, so I just protect the sliding tie rod. That's it. And once I do that, but then again, you know, I've made that mistake of getting glue in that movement as well. The nice thing about the aliphatics is that you take a little bit of water, take a little bit of alcohol, squirt it down, you dilute it, problem solved, okay? Don't get nuts about it. This is simple stuff. It should be simple because it should be enjoyable, because that's what this hobby is. It should bring enjoyment to you and something that says, wow, I created that. That's what it brings to you. That's what this hobby is all about. From my perspective, I don't run trains. I build layouts. That's where I find the most of my interest, and the best thing that I can do is give you the benefit of my experience, whatever it is. And like I said, if you read Model Railroader or Railroad Model Craftsman, everyone's got a different way of doing something. But the basic L-girder structure doesn't change throughout. The concept stays the same through this, okay? Make it fun. That's all it is. Make it fun. Be creative. Take your creativity, express it in wood, glue, rail. You got a railroad.
The internet is a great source for more information about laying track. Visit the Google website and type in "laying track for a model railroad." For more information about the Apple Valley Model Railroad Club, visit their website at avmrc.com.